Hi, I'm Magnus Krona from Weavy. So in this video, I'm going to show you how you can add Zoom into the Weavy Messenger. So let's get started. As you can see in this test site here, we have two additional buttons. We have one for Zoom and also one for Microsoft Teams. I'm basically only going to show you here in this video how you can integrate Zoom, but the way you do it for Teams is much the same. And all of this is available at our documentation site, weavy.com/docs. So the first thing we need to do with Zoom is to head over to the marketplace and click on Manage up in the right corner here. And there we have all the created apps. And I have already prepared one that I'm going to use. But if you want to create a new one, you head over to Develop and View App Types. And what you want to do here is to create a new OAuth app. So click Create. You can give it a name, and you can select User Managed App and deselect that you want to publish it, because right now we just want to try this out. So if I click on the one I have created here, you can see here on the start page, it's called Zoom Test. It's a user managed app and an OAuth app. And we have some app credentials that we're going to use when we configure Weavy. And the redirect URL. And this is the URL to the Weavy server. And in this case, it's weavyx.weavycloud.com. And then we have the endpoint meetings Zoom auth. And make sure to add it to the allowed domain as well. So on the next page, we can give the name and a short description. It doesn't really matter in this demo. The add scope, on the add scopes page, we have to add meetings, view and manage your meetings to be able to create meetings. And on the recording tab, select view and manage your recordings. Those are the only two scopes that you need to select. And on the last page, it's nothing special here. So let's go back to the app credential page, because here we want to take this information here and add it to the Weavy settings file. So this is the app settings.json file that you have in your Weavy server. And the first thing we need to do is to enable the Zoom feature. So we add the features here and make sure Zoom is set to true. This enables the button in the messenger. And then we have some specific Zoom settings. So let's add the Zoom property here. And we need to add the client ID and the client secret. And last up, the authentication URL. So if we go back to the Zoom app here, this is the client ID. So we copy that one and paste it in here in our client ID, and the same for the secret. Let's copy that one and paste it in here. And last up, the authentication URL. And this is the URL to the Zoom authorized endpoint. So that one is always the same. But what you want to do here is to make sure the client ID is the same as the client ID you're using here. And the redirect URI is the one you specified on the app. So those settings must match exactly. So let's save this configuration file and make sure also that you rebuild the project before you try this out. And if we go back to where our test app, where we have embedded the drop-in JS, the drop-in UI, we have the button, and if we click on it, we can sign in. So that sign in URL goes to the authentication URL, we get authenticated, and then we can add the Zoom message to, or attach the Zoom message to our message. So what we get here is a Zoom meeting card with the meeting ID and a button where we can start the meeting. So for Teams, the configuration is much the same. We get the button, we can sign in, and we can attach the meeting to our message. And the way you configure Teams is in Azure, you create a new app and use the client ID and secret and so on, and specify in the configuration file. So that was pretty much it. I hope you liked the video. Thank you.